What is going on, everybody? I am the FT Guru, bringing to you guys a Tuesday MLB edition of my DFS podcast. We have 11 games on the main slate here tonight. We also have a handful of games on the early slate at 6:40 Eastern. I will be playing all Twitter subscribers. We'll be seeing that for free on Twitter. You have to be subscribed to me through that pink button on my profile. Also a 2-game after-hours slate as well. Baseball's been pretty tough over the last week or so. At least the GPP FanDuel last night did really well. I ended up going Scherzer there instead of Corbin Burns, where I went with Corbin Burns on the other lineups, which ended up being brutal as he got absolutely shelled. But the GPP lineup had great ROI for some members, so at least we got a W there. Let's have a lot more success here with all of the lineups tonight. We have a lot of decent pitchers on the slate tonight, not a ton of good hitting spots. Give this video a like. Make sure you are subscribed. I do appreciate it. So there's a ton of expensive guys tonight. I don't know if I love them for their dollar. For their salary. Eovaldi in Chicago could obviously crush, but he is $11,000. I'm not sure Eovaldi is an $11,000 kind of guy. Valdez, very expensive. Clayton Kershaw's been good, but he's got a tough matchup against the Angels on the road. Garrett Cole, 10-6 might be your best spend-up option value-wise with Garrett Cole, but he hasn't been pitching that well if you look at his game log. Stroman's a little expensive, even though he's been fantastic. I like the middle tier. Justin Verlander at 8,200. I know he's not his usual self so far this year, but when you see Verlander at 8,200, you gotta at least entertain it a little bit, right? He's facing his former team at his former ballpark in Houston. He's been a roller coaster, honestly. He's had some fantastic starts. He's had some dreadful starts. But he's coming off of a great start against the Yankees. It's actually unbelievable how he's exactly flip-flopped a fantastic start with an awful start since he's come back. You got 49 fantasy points, then 6, then 46, then 3, then 43, then 6, then 37. So this pattern is saying that he's going to have a single-digit fantasy point game tonight, but I'm not going to look too far into that. What I will look at is his good games and how high his upside is for a guy like Verlander to be 8,200, representing 40 to 50 point upside. It really is eye-opening here tonight. I'm going to get some exposure to him one way or the other. Maybe it's just GPP because he is a little risky. I might get him in cash lineups. I don't know yet. This game has a pretty low over-under. I think it's 7.5. And again, Verlander has, a ton of upside with his strikeouts still. Definitely someone you want to keep an eye out on. And another $8,000 guy I'm looking at, Jordan Montgomery, a pretty good matchup in Washington. The Nationals, not a super scary offense to pitch against. 8,800, sub 9,000. He's a favorite on the road here against Mackenzie Gore. And he's been really good over his last 2, really over his last 3. 8,800, a good price on him. 5 or more strikeouts in the last 3 games. Has only given up 4 total earned runs in those 3 games. So he looks really good. He went through a bit of a rough spell in the middle here, but he also had a really good start to the season as well. So Montgomery's worth a look. I do like Verlander more at, a whole $600 cheaper. But all in all, Dylan Cease against the Rangers, he's at home, 8,600. He's been good. That's another great $8,000 guy. Overall, there's just, whether you want to spend up or go to the 8,000 range, there's a ton of great pitchers on this slate. The $8,000 guys look like the better value in my opinion right now. For the infield, let's go to Nolan Arenado, 3,200, a nice cheap price on him. He draws the righty-lefty matchup against Mackenzie Gore. They are decent favorites here on the road. I think they're minus 150, a decent over-under 8.5. Mackenzie Gore hasn't been pitching as well as he did at the beginning of the year. And Arenado just hit 2 homers 2 games ago, but he's been pretty shaky. But Vegas seems to love the Cardinals tonight. Other than the offer a few games ago, twice in a row, he was on a pretty decent hitting streak. So he's seen the ball pretty well. 275 average, not bad. He is a superstar, so a lot of people are going to look at that and think it's pretty underwhelming. He should be batting more towards like 285, 290, but the power numbers are there. The price is good on him. I do like this play at third base for Arenado. Shortstop, let's go back to De La Cruz of the Reds. He was disappointing last night, stacked the Reds and Rockies. They ended up doing all right. It was really just Corbin Burns that was the downfall for me, but De La Cruz disappointed. He only got 6.2 fantasy points, but we got to just load him up again here. The Reds are one of the best stacks on the slate against Noah Davis of the Rockies, 6.17 ERA. This game has a 9 over-under, or maybe even a 9.5 over-under, and they're favorites here, so De La Cruz looks fantastic at 3,900. He is currently projected to score the most fantasy points over any other hitter on this slate. He's looked so good since he's gotten called up, living up to his hype. And then, on the same team here, leading off, we have the confirmed lineup for the Reds. Going back to my trusted TJ Friddle value, 2,900. I love this guy. He usually comes through for me every time I pick him. Leading off in a great matchup here tonight, he's going to be extremely popular at under 3,000. Arguably the best value bat on the entire slate here tonight, as the Reds are expected to put up a handful of runs at home against another very below average Rockies pitcher. And then, this is kind of like a grab bag. Like, I was looking through the outfield, was looking for, 3,000, low 3,000s value. And I don't know how much I'm going to get to Buxton tonight. He's just a guy that whenever he's this cheap, no matter how bad he's hitting the ball, I'm going to look at him. Maybe a GPP guy just because he's been bad since he's come back. But anytime you can get a, low 3,000 price on a guy like Byron Buxton, probably batting second or third or fourth for the Twins tonight, I'm going to try to get some exposure to it. The Twins, it's an 8.5 over-under. Their favorites against the Red Sox. Cutter Crawford, not too great on the Red Sox. 4.2 ERA. He could easily get hit around by this Twins offense tonight. Even though the Twins, they haven't really been producing as of late. Doesn't really matter. It's baseball. You got to look at, Vegas odds. You got to look at chances of teams scoring a lot of runs. You got to look at the pitchers. Cutter Crawford's not great. Buxton, still getting his legs under him. He's only had 5 games since he's come back from his injury. He could easily put up a crooked fantasy score. But again, there's risk involved. He hasn't hit the ball since he's come back from injury. But we all know what his potential is. He hits the ball very, very hard. So maybe a nice GPP flyer, especially if you want to stack the Twins on a GPP lineup. Like going 3 or 4 Twins just to get a little different. I don't think they're going to be a super popular stack tonight. Buxton, probably the best Twin to pick tonight at that price with his upside because, he's a 5-tool player. I don't mind Byron Buxton here at 3,200. That'll do it for this video, guys. Hope it helps you out. Looking to have, a lot better days ahead here. MLB can be hot and cold for sure. Definitely won't get down on myself. Let's have a great night tonight. Again, give this video a like. Until next time, I am the FD Guru, and I'm signing off. Peace.